What's the worst thing you've ever found in your food at a restaurant? An inch-long bolt in my mashed potatoes. Fortunately I found it with my fork and not my teeth. The maitre d' informed me later that the bolt had fallen off of their industrial mixer. Not really a restaurant, but my unit's cafeteria. I took the salad. There was the corpse of a frog neatly cut in half. Another guy found the other half. No clue how it got there. A tooth inside my hamburger. I was too scared to ask why that happened. So I just threw it away and got out of the place. Glass. When I was in 7th grade my family was eating one of those big family style salads at an Olive Garden. I'm weird and eat salad with a spoon. I put a spoonful of salad into my mouth and felt something cut the inside of my cheek while I bit down on something hard. I pulled out a bloody chunk of glass. The restaurant accused us of lying, even though we didn't ask for anything in return. We just wanted to let them know so no one else got hurt. Plus, if we were going to lie, why would my parents have chosen their 13-year-old daughter to be the target of salad glass? They did end up comping me and my dad's meals, but we still paid for my mom's and other siblings. I was at a local restaurant chain, Northeast US, and ordered a buffalo chicken wrap. Got about halfway in and bit into a large metal bolt and chipped my tooth. Not a good time. 0/10 recommend. The last 2 times I went to Steak and Shake, I got earrings in my shakes both times. One was a stud earring and the other was a hoop. I wouldn't eat there ever again, even if it was my only choice. I used bandage with blood on it in my guacamole. Yay, found it when it went into my mouth. A staple in my Chinese food. An entire rat snake in a number 10 sized can of green beans. The guess is crawled into the can at some point and just got filled with beans and then retorted. The can guy said it probably drowned before it was cooked. Poor fella. I got a cream cheese baguette on the go and was eating it while walking. Did not really look at what I was biting into. One bit was quite difficult to chew and I pulled a finger of a latex glove out of my mouth. Not me, but when I was at Panera my friend found an Allen wrench in her salad. Like, how TF does that happen? Client bit into a shard of metal in his beef soup, broke his tooth, got $10K from the restaurant. A completely raw chicken wing covered in sauce in a basket of cooked chicken wings. A cabinet hinge in a salad. I found a full receipt crumpled up into the size of a marble in the gravy of a Yorkshire pudding at an English pub style restaurant. I bit on it, was confused, pulled it out of my mouth, and unwrapped a full legible receipt from the night before. I showed the waiter, and he said he talked to the owner. The owner said I could choose to pay my bill or the receipt I found in my food. The total on the receipt I found was almost $30 more than what I ordered. I was shocked with the service and never went back. I also left without paying. Fuck that place. Nothing but tomatoes after telling the dude to put everything but tomatoes. Worms. I'm a chef and all of the monkfish has to be checked for parasites when we get it. Any fish can have parasites, but monkfish is the only one where I have to cut the wiggling bastards out myself. It's safe to eat, but I won't order it anymore, no matter how delicious it is. Ignorance is bliss. When I was working at a hospital in the dietary department, we had a pizza day one day of the month. So we got in pre-made crusts so we could make the pizzas quickly, made them all, and proceeded to slice them when one of them had an electrical wire coiled up throughout the entire base of the pizza. I was like 15 or 16 at the time and I remember being absolutely shocked at how an entire wire could be coiled into a pizza crust. The wire was like a teal color and the color had leaked into the surrounding dough. Man, that was messed up. A large mosquito looking fly with an incredibly long proboscis in a salad I was eating. I turned over one leaf of lettuce and it was laid out beautifully with the proboscis fully unfurled. It looked like a fossil, perfectly preserved in vinaigrette. Like it almost had to have been placed that way on purpose. I don't think I was a dick to that waiter, but maybe. A piece of copper in my egg roll, and once I found metal bristles from a scrub brush in my lobster roll. I had once a wasp in my cake. It was dead, and I didn't have to pay. Worst thing I found in my food was what turned out to be cardboard from the box of mushrooms, but was unidentifiable when I pulled it out of my mouth initially. Worst thing my boyfriend found in his food, an M&M in a burrito from Taco Bell that may or may not have been dropped out of the mouth of the person who made the burrito at Taco Bell. It was horrific. The mystery. My BF called the Taco Bell and demanded to know if because it was the holidays people had been throwing around M&Ms or something. The manager looked in the back and said, now that you said it, I'm seeing a lot of M&Ms back here. I was given a dirty spoon at the local Waffle House. When I asked for a replacement, the waitress got upset and gave me a long explanation as why the dirty spoon was not her fault since the previous shift had washed them. I simply replied, but you are the one that gave it to me. I don't think she liked me. A girl's shoe. I was dining outside once, and this little girl was jumping around dancing nearby while waiting for her parents. I guess my back was to her, so I didn't see what happened. She must have done a little kick of her foot at one point because her shoe went flying up in the air and landed in my dinner. Her father came over shortly thereafter and bought me a replacement. And then he gave her a talking to. Having a peaceful dinner interrupted by a sparkly kid landing in it was a bit surreal. Pubes at the bottom of my fries from an In-N-Out that I found after I already ate the fries. I feel queasy every time I see an In-N-Out fries. Live lava on my Picodi Gallo at a vegan chain restaurant. I emailed their corporate customer relations about it, and they dismissively responded with something along the lines of, we use all organic ingredients, so this is to be expected. Too organic for me. One time my family ordered pizza for to it from a local pizza place. When we got home and opened it, there was a huge tangled hairball on the pizza. It was a hairball the size of a golf ball at least. I have no idea how that could happen. A giant chunk of hair in my salad. Like, it wasn't even a good prank, because as soon as I started mixing it, I saw this massive chunk of hair and stopped. I sent it back, and the waitress asked, would you like a replacement salad? I said, hell no. I wanna pay whatever I owe for the drinks and go somewhere else. She got the manager that I definitely didn't ask for or want to speak to. Manager said drinks were on the house and asked me to stay and let him make it up to us. I politely declined since he was being so polite. I took my free drinks and left. Never went back there again. I did get about $30 or $40 worth of free alcohol out of it though. I didn't ask for it, but it was nice of him to do that. My girlfriend at the time was so grossed out by this giant ball of hair that she actually started dry heaving. That's what got the waitress's attention. How the actual heck do some of these things get in people's foods? My brother and I went to eat at a Mexican restaurant, and I came in a few minutes after him. We ate through that basket of chips, and we brought a refill, but the chewed up gum in the wrapper was facing me instead of him this time. I turned around and said, gross, I don't want your nasty chewed up gum on my side. His eyes got as big as saucers, and he said, that's not my gum. The restaurant did not change the pieces of wax paper in the bottom of the chip basket. My brother immediately spit the mouthful of chewed up chips and salsa into the chip basket, and we notified our waiter. We saw our waiter pick up the basket of chips, walking into the kitchen, dump the whole thing in the top of the chip warmer. Yes, my brother's chewed up chips were dumped into the restaurant's supply of chips. Not restaurant but close enough. Not even sure I want to. I still throw up at this story. Ordered Domino's pizza, started eating, got down to the last 2 slices, saw a slithery slimy thing, and lifted up the slice to a used condom. It had leaked all over my other slices, but I didn't notice, and assumed grease etc. Was hungry. Drove down to the store and asked for the manager. No such luck. Got photos and went to higher up. turns out 2 employees having sex. I'll presume fired. I got given a code for the online website, free pizza for a year. But like hell, I'd ate 6 slices of semen pizza. Story time. And X200B. I worked in food trailers as a summer job in college. We went to a new festival in the state next to us along a large river where they were having boat races. The health inspector tells us that we need screens all around the trailer. We have nothing like this. With our semi-skill and a trip to the hardware store, we quickly build large screen frames and put them up in the trailers. 2 days later, the mayflies emerge from the river by the millions. I cannot tell you how horrible this was for a kid nowhere near a large body of water like this. In the seconds it took to open a window to serve food, a mayfly or 2 would get in and crash dive into the fryers. This was not really the worst, as we were able to fish out the bugs before serving any food. Now for the worst part. A couple days later, a new horror spawns from the river. This time it is these tiny bugs that easily fit through the screen holes. There are even more of these than the mayflies. They literally covered any light source, blacking out the outside lights. They were everywhere and got into the food. We notified the health inspector, who just shrugged and didn't really care, since it was a problem for everyone, even the people that were prepared. We served deep fried food with little black specks in it all night for 2 nights straight. We may have had 3 or 4 people complain, even though we were slammed all night. Apparently they never saw big onion rings before, and we were a hit. We made over $9,000 each night in that trailer alone, and every person that ordered our food got at least 10 to 20 tiny bugs in their order.